Hello, and welcome to our weekly newsletter. We have a two-day class coming up in Portland, Oregon on April 23rd and 24th. And as you can tell by looking at me, I'm not getting any younger. And we are going to have a limited number of these classes left to do. So if you want to sit in on that class, I would make arrangements to get out here and get yourself registered for the class. It's a two-day class. It covers estimating, contracts, sales, and a number of mathematical issues that you'll run into in your business. It's well worth the investment. We have an extremely high success rate with contractors that come to this class and then going back and check 3, 4, 5 years later, they're still in business and doing well. So the class does work. We have another class coming up in Parsippany, New Jersey on May 15th. It is our class we started our business with way back 22 years ago, Markup, Margins, and Cash Flow. And it's a one-day class, and you can find that on our website. Go in there and have a look. And if you're anywhere in the New Jersey area and would like to sit in on that class, everyone is welcome. Just come check in, sign in, and we'll see you on May 15th. Now, one more item before we get started on our newsletter, and that we need some input from you on how we can help you better. Devin and I have built our business trying to help you take care of your family. Okay, but we can't guess at what you need. We are not mind readers. We need some help from you. So if you have just a second or two, would you get on our website and at markupandprofit.com/survey and take a few minutes and answer the questions that are in there. It would really help us a lot as far as programming our future classes and things that we're working on. So if you do that for us, we greatly appreciate it. Let's talk about our newsletter this week. Unclear change work orders. I received a note asking about change work orders. It says, "Hi, Michael. I have a question regarding the change work orders when upfront pricing is either difficult to determine or cannot be determined until you get started on it being the job. For most of my clients, this is not an issue, but I'm running into some new clients that when I update pricing after a design change or taking care of unanticipated factors post-demo, they get a little crazy asking for breakouts or receipts. How much time it took, what the markup was, etc., etc. I'm sold on using the change work order, and any advice for when the scope/cost is a little gray at the start. I'm leaning towards calculating a worst case scenario for the work, getting it signed, and then hoping you're covered to avoid the hassle down the road." My response to the note was, as far as pricing the change work order goes, your two best choices are to assume the worst and adjust later, or use a demolition and discovery agreement. This type of agreement is usually used before a project starts, but it can be utilized during the job as well. A demolition discovery agreement is handy when you don't know and can't figure out what's behind the walls, up in the ceiling, under the floor, maybe under a slab or something on that order. Maybe the building has an extreme level of deferred maintenance, or there are signs of wiring or plumbing issues that you can't diagnose without opening up the walls or the floor or whatever. The demolition and discovery agreement essentially gets you paid to do the demolition discovery and estimating necessary to complete the repairs or remodeling they want done. You shouldn't be doing this kind of work unless you're being paid. Include a not to exceed clause to protect yourself and your client. There is a sample demolition and discovery agreement in our book, Markup and Profit Revisited. Both problems, the request for itemization and finding unanticipated factors after demo, are common in remodeling. We discuss how to handle a request for itemization in Chapter 16 of our book, Profitable Sales, A Contractor's Guide. There, I talk about how to address itemization or transparency when it's brought up during the sales call. Even if your customer doesn't bring up the topic beforehand, you need language in your contract that clarifies how you'll handle any itemization request. Okay? Itemization should be charged at a minimum of 4 hours at a specified rate per hour, and I suggest at least $150 an hour. There are valid reasons for unexpected change during a remodeling project. An inspector might require a change that wasn't seen when the plans were first approved. You might find mold or rodent damage that's not detectable outside the walls or pipes or buried under the concrete, whatever. That's why every contract should also include language that explains how you'll handle hidden conditions that aren't reasonably discoverable prior to the job start. The work will stop, you'll write a change work order, get paid for it, and when it's signed and paid, the work will resume. We have language for both these situations in the Fast Track Proposal Writer software program. If you have a contract you're happy with and don't want to use our software program on a regular basis, copy and paste that paragraph from the Fast Track Proposal Writer into your contract. Of course, you must purchase it first. Remember that once a job starts, your contract is the guiding document, so you need to get it right. Write a contract that covers the events that often occur. That way you won't end up in unnecessary arguments that stop the job and stop you from getting paid. It'll give both you and your customer peace of mind.